What's up, everyone? It's Ricky Lopez up in this joint. So I thought I might as well, go on a little rant and talk about my criminal history. So let's be honest, everybody has a past, even perfect people like me. JK. But no, I am, to some level of degree perfect. Anyway, but like, back to the point. So I don't really have a criminal history, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys about the time that I got pulled over. Not once, but twice. So, let's get right to it. So the first time I ever got pulled over, I was heading out from the gym. We just did a bunch of rolls and I was just like I wasn't exhausted, but I was just like all up in my head. I was like I don't know what I could have done to like been I was like what was going through my mind was this like, man, I should have done this. I should have went for this submission. I should have escaped this way. Why did my escapes not work? Things were going in my head. So then I pulled over to get some gas, and after I got some gas, I pretty much went ahead and this was nighttime, by the way. So it was nighttime. I just got out from the gym. I went to pump in gas. After I got my gas in, I pretty much went ahead and drove off, and I forgot to turn on my lights. So I don't know if you guys know this. For those of you who are young, whenever you drive a car, whenever it's nighttime or whenever it's raining, you have to turn on your lights. And I did not do that. And the reason why I did not do that is because it was very bright in the city. Like there were poles, like those long poles that have lights in them, they were everywhere. And plus everybody's building was bright. There were other cars, so it was very bright, so I could see. However, I didn't know, like I was thinking about all this, all this stuff in my head, and then out of nowhere, all I could hear were sirens. And I went and I saw my window, and I was like, damn, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. Like, oh my gosh, like, hold up, are those for me? Are those signs for me? And then I turned around and I was like, oh shoot, I'm the only car on the road. So I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was like panicking. I was like, what did I do? And then I saw that my lights weren't turned on, and I was like, oh man. So, like an idiot, I pulled over, and I was in the car for a long time. And I was just like all up in my head, like, this is a waste of time. Like, I know they just pulled me over because of my lights. So I was just waiting and waiting and waiting for them to pretty much, for the cop or whatever to come out and, let me know what's up or whatever. However, I was just waiting. It was literally like it was literally just a 1 minute wait, I think, but I felt like it was like forever. So I went ahead and was like, you know what? Maybe this cop doesn't know that I stopped. So let me just hop out of this car and see if maybe I need to do something. Cause I don't know if you guys know this, but you guys remember the Medea movie? Medea goes to jail or whatever. She got pulled over and then she hopped out of the car. So I thought that was, I thought that was what I was supposed to do. I thought I was supposed to hop out of the car or whatever. Listen, I don't keep up with the police. I don't do anything. I haven't seen cops in like years, so I don't know the deal of how to handle cops. All I know is that they like to shoot black people and they like to shoot Mexicans. That's all I know about cops. So anyway, so I pretty much just went ahead and like an idiot just hopped out of the car, and next thing you know, the guy was like, freeze, freeze, and I was like, oh shoot, was I not supposed to hop out of the car? And next thing you know, this cop came out. To give you a description of who he was. He was a black cop. He was literally about my height. And so I didn't feel much threatened. Like, this is a short guy, I'm not, and plus he's black. Minority to minority, I ain't scared. So we went ahead, so I was like, oh shoot. And so he was like, he was like, buddy, just put your hands on the car. And so I put my hands on the car, and it took a whole lot of time. Like, I guess they were like doing research, or he was looking up information to make sure I wasn't like a crackhead or whatever. And so then he was like, all right, buddy, can I see your license? And so I was like, yeah, it's in the front of the car. And then I realized, and so he went to the front of the car, and then I realized it wasn't in the front of the car. I realized that it was in my gym bag. So I was like, actually, sir, it's in my gym bag. was what I said to him. And he popped open the trunk, and he had to literally go through all my smelly geese and all my smelly gloves and gear to go through and look for my license. And I honestly did not know where my license was. I knew it was it was in my gym bag, but I didn't know where it was because I have so many pockets. I keep things everywhere. So we literally like he tore apart my whole gym bag until he found it. And once they realized that I wasn't a criminal and I wasn't a felon, and I wasn't a crackhead, he was pretty much let me go on a warning. And I was just like, you know what, that would have been way shorter if I maybe not have hopped out of that car. But I don't know anything about cops. All I know is that they like to shoot black people and Mexicans. So moving on. So now fast forward to a couple months ago, January to be exact. Me and my buddy we got pulled over 2 times. So we got pulled over. Yeah, we got pulled over 2 times in 1 month. So, and the first time we were going to a competition. He's a training partner of mine. We go to the same gym, and so we went to a competition, and then we came back, and then it was just hilarious because my buddy, he was on his phone. Not a smart idea, by the way. He was on his phone, and it was raining, and he was going like 80 miles per hour. It was kind of my fault too, because I should have like checked him and made sure he was doing good. But no, I was all up on Instagram, on my phone. We had a long day, man. We were competing. I wasn't tired. I was just like sleepy. So we were on our way, and then we got pulled over. And whenever we got pulled over, I was like, crap. And then my buddy was like, don't worry, this isn't the first time that's happened. And I was like, what? You've been pulled over before? And so I was just like, wow. Okay, buddy. All right, cool. But what really, so then the cop came over at the window, and, he was like, he had this southern redneck accent, and right off the bat, I was thinking to myself, we're two Hispanic people in a car, and this cop, it has like a redneck southern accent, and I immediately was like, this is not gonna end up well. We are gonna get a ticket. And sure enough, we got a ticket. And I personally believe he could have given us a warning, but no. He saw 2 colored people in a car, and he was like, you're not leaving here today without a ticket. And so I could just tell this dude was a Republican. It was just the look and the way he talked, and it was just everywhere. He reeked of Donald Trump. He reeked of republicanism. He reeked of white supremacy. He was just like, I knew we were dead. I knew we were goners by then. So anyway, he got a ticket, and no worries, I helped him out with it, and he made it disappear. Thank God, he doesn't have anything on his record. But I made him promise me that he wasn't gonna get pulled over again. And so yeah, so now I know I said that we got pulled over 2 times, or I got pulled over 2 times, but that time did not count because my friend got pulled over. So this is another time when I got pulled over. And so the third time I got pulled over was, again, we came back from a competition, we were tired. Like we weren't tired, we were sleepy. Okay? It was literally like 10:40. No, it wasn't 10:40. It was like 10 o'clock whenever we were driving. I've been driving for hours, okay? We came from like a 2-hour city. I was driving. I was in the car. I told my buddy, you know what? Thank you so much for taking me to the competition. Thank you for, we were out there competing. You drove our way towards the competition. Now if you don't mind, you can chill out, take a break. I'll drive ourselves back home. And so I did. And so it was a long drive, man. It was literally like, there were no cars anywhere. So that's when I was literally like, well, there's no cars. Maybe I could go ahead and make things go a little smoother by, going a little faster. I was hesitant enough. I was very hesitant. I was like, should I speed? I mean, there's no one around. It's like what Shakira said: if there is no witness, there is no crime. So I was like, should I listen to Shakira or should I just listen to my conscience, or what should I do? So I pretty much was like, after like an hour or so, I was like, okay, there's no cars, so step on the gas. So I literally was going fast, and I was literally like checking every freaking second. I was looking like, okay, is there a cop? Is there a cop? Is there a cop? Is there any cars around? I did that for about an hour. Like the speed limit was like 70, I think, and then I was like going 75, 76, 77. It wasn't that fast, y'all. I'm not a crazy driver. So it wasn't until an hour later, again, I was checking. I was like, okay, it's dark out there. There's no car lights. And next thing you know, we were about to get to to our hometown city. And literally 10 minutes before we got to our hometown city, I saw blue sirens. And I was like, oh my gosh. You got to be freaking kidding me. Like, I literally just checked to see if there was anybody out on the road, and nobody was there. But yet, somehow, out of nowhere, these blue sirens came out. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this dude was literally probably just sitting on the edge of the road waiting to bust someone. And I was just so frustrated. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, whoa, what do I do? What do I do? And then he was like, chill out, just pull over. And so I was like, I pulled over, but I did not pull over to the left. No, I did not pull over to the right. I pulled over to the left. To the left, like Beyonce. So I pulled over to the left, and I was like, oh shoot, oh no. And then he was like, you should have pulled over to the other side, but we good. And so I was like, oh my gosh, but I was like, oh my gosh, man, I am so sorry. Like, I'll pay for whatever ticket for whatever ticket we're gonna get. Like, I'll pay for it. Like, don't worry about it. Just hit me up. I got you. And next thing you know, he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. And so I was like, should I get my license? Or should I pull over my window? And he was like, nah, just wait until the cop pulls over. Like, this dude had it. Like, he knew, like, he's been pulled over before, so he knew the ins and outs of it. So, and I was like, do I get my license? And he was like, no, don't reach for anything in the back, because then you're probably going to get shot. So, we waited, and so, the cop came over, and whenever he spoke to us, he sounded like a casual white dude. So I was like, okay, so I feel like we could be okay. He doesn't sound like a racist. So, he asked for my license. I gave it to him. And he asked for the registration. My friend gave it to him. And so, I was like, literally, I was like praying. I was like, dear God, please, please. Like, we came home. Like, I literally came home with a bronze medal. And I was like, please, God, let me just take this bronze medal. Like, let me come home with this bronze medal and this bronze medal only. Do not let me come home with this ticket. I was literally praying. And let me be honest, yo. One thing that I hate about myself is that I tend to pray hard whenever I'm in danger or in trouble, which it shouldn't be like that. You should be praying hard regardless. But that's just how I am. I'm not perfect, even though I claim to be perfect. But anyway, back to the story. So I was like praying, like, dear Lord, please. And Ricky got the power of prayer on his side. I am in cahoots with a higher power, because next thing you know, we didn't get no ticket, not even a warning ticket. He was like, all right, make sure you go slow this time. And I was like, what? And then my buddy was like, yo, you got lucky. And I was like, I know, right? Like, that's what happens when you know how to drive perfectly and safely, and you never get pulled over. And then we were just laughing it off, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, we dodged a bullet. So, yeah, man. So the moral of the story is, do not speed, and that cops are out there to bust you. And cops, you just never know. It just depends on your luck. You might get a racist cop that'll pull you over, or you might get a casual cop like this cop, that pulled me over and then gave us a ticket. So, I've seen both sides. So the moral of the story is, someone is always watching. Okay? Someone is always watching. And just because there is no witness, there is no crime. That whole Shakira, saying may not work every time. So, yeah, guys, kids out there, don't speed. And especially don't be on your phone. Yeah. Because whenever you think no one's watching, someone is watching.